Those were the top headlines that we are tracking for you at this hour, and it's day 19th of the war in West Asia. Iran has vowed a decisive retaliation for its security chief Ali Larijani's death, who was killed in an Israeli strike. Missiles and drones are raining all over the Gulf. Israel is facing a barrage of attacks. Here are the latest developments. Iran carried out a series of morning missile attacks on Wednesday, striking Tel Aviv and other locations in what it described as retaliation for the assassination of its security chief Ali Larijani. One missile was seen over the West Bank shortly after Israel's army alerted the public of incoming Iranian missiles. Earlier, in overnight strikes, Iran targeted Tel Aviv with a cluster of warheads, according to the Iranian state media. At least 2 people were killed in Ramat Gan near the Tel Aviv area during the attack. Security services and falling munitions struck multiple sites, raising the overall death toll from missile attacks on Israel to 14. Burnt vehicles and scattered debris lined the streets of Holon, near Tel Aviv, following an overnight Iranian missile strike. Israeli emergency services say residents heard loud explosions and saw fires, but no injuries were reported. Firefighters and emergency crews rushed to contain the damage as authorities continued to assess the full extent of the damage across the affected area. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was targeted by a drone strike early this morning, which caused a fire. The latest incident follows a wave of drone and rocket fire directed at the diplomatic mission just hours earlier, as regional tensions continue to escalate. In Jordan, trails of smoke streaked across the skies above Amman after strikes were sounded and air defenses intercepted incoming projectiles. The interception occurred within minutes of leaving visible smoke patterns over the capital as the country's airspace came under threat. The Saudi Defense Ministry confirmed that a missile targeting the Al-Kharj governance was neutralized, with debris falling near Prince Sultan Air Base, a key installation housing U.S. military. No damage or casualties were reported at the base. The ministry also announced the destruction of 6 drones in the eastern region. Iran's parliament speaker has warned that shipping through the Strait of Hormuz will not return to its pre-war conditions, signaling potential long-term disruption to one of the world's most critical energy routes. The U.S. military said it has hit Iranian missile sites near the strategic Strait of Hormuz with some of the most powerful bombs in the U.S. arsenal. In a statement on X, U.S. Central Command said American forces deployed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions against missile facilities along Iran's coastline, successfully destroying the targets. An Iranian projectile struck near Australia's Al Minhad Air Base in the UAE. The strike caused minor damage to an accommodation and a medical facility. Australian PM Anthony Albanese said no Australian personnel were injured and all are safe. Israel carried out airstrikes in central Beirut, killing at least 6 people. A building in Beirut's Bashara district collapsed after Israel urged residents to evacuate, warning of an imminent strike targeting Hezbollah. Smoke was seen rising from the site of the strike. Another strike hit Beirut's Zuqaq-al-Blat neighborhood. Israel also issued an evacuation call for residents of 4 towns in southern Lebanon, warning of imminent strikes. All right, that's the latest that we are gathering as far as the war is concerned. In fact, we earlier spoke with Professor Tilman Ruff live from Melbourne. He is the co-president of International Physicians for Prevention of the Nuclear War and a Nobel Prize laureate. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
It's difficult to know. Of course, Russia has been a long-standing ally of Iran, and Iran has also provided significant material support, particularly large numbers of the Shahed drones that have been so damaging in the Ukraine conflict on civilians and civilian infrastructure. So Russia has long-standing links and has been the main provider of nuclear technology for Iran externally. So it's in a sense not surprising that Russian might be involved. I think they've been fairly careful to this point, with perhaps limited capacity, very much distracted by the Ukraine war, to assist Iran, but also would be very cautious about antagonizing Washington. It's very difficult to predict the response from Washington. I mean, this really, they're acting, Israel and the United States, in concert completely as imperial powers, claiming absolute impunity from the laws of war and from any kind of negotiated settlement at this point. So it's really not clear what the end game is, or exactly how Russia or China or other nuclear armed states might become involved on the Iranian side and really escalate the dangers of wider escalation of this conflict.